Welcome back to the Anger Man podcast with Jason and Greg. So I do want to touch on this topic a bit because I believe that I have an interesting perspective on it, and it's the situation currently between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. Now we know yesterday Bob Arum was a part of a video that dropped, I believe, from Fight Hub, where he was talking about Teofimo Lopez, and he mentioned that Teo is just too good, and they've tried to make different fights with different opponents. Boots Ennis is still something that they're trying to work towards. But he also mentioned the fact that they tried to make a fight with Devin Haney, and unfortunately that fight was unable to be made. Devin didn't want to fight. Well, of course, Devin is going to respond to that. He took to his social media account and responded to Bob Arum, stating, "Ask at Turkey Alex Sheik. He sent the offer at Fight Hub TV at Mike Coppinger." So I don't really know exactly what that statement means because it doesn't really make sense. But I'm assuming that what he's doing is refuting the comments from Bob Arum yesterday on Fight Hub. Mike Coppinger also came to the defense of Devin Haney, basically saying that the fight wasn't offered. And then Bill Haney mentioned that they would fight Teofimo Lopez, but not if it's on Top Rank, with Top Rank. So I thought that was an interesting comment. So as I was riding from the south side of the city yesterday, it just dawned on me this whole situation. And so immediately when I got home, I started to read through some of the court filings that occurred between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. And the one that I was really interested in was the initial filing by Devin Haney. Now I'm going to pull up this document and share it. I'm not going to go to the website because the last time we did something like this, it was with the whole Errol Spence and Derrick James situation, and I saw a lot of people grabbing and running with it without giving proper credit to who they got it from. So we're not going to show that part of it. I'm just going to show the document here, though. So here is the document. This is what was filed, and it's very hard to get this document. You guys can go out there and attempt to find it yourself, but it's pretty challenging to get to. All right, so what was interesting about the filing here, and bear with me as I walk through here, there was a few sections that stood out to me. So number one, section 52, Devin Haney suffered damages in that he suffered physical injury, reputational damage, which will amount to millions of dollars, and emotional and mental distress. Okay. And then section 61, by virtue of his actions, Ryan Garcia was enriched at the expense of Devin Haney to the tune of millions of dollars. 62, specifically, Ryan Garcia advanced his reputation at the expense of Devin Haney. This translates to significant loss of future earnings for Devin Haney. So I'm looking over here to the right. Because there are certain parts of this that I wanted to call out. And 59, Devin Haney suffered damages as a result of misrepresentation by Ryan Garcia. So the reason why I wanted to share those particular notes, and let me stop sharing my screen now. The reason why I wanted to share those particular notes as it relates to what he was filing is when you think about this whole situation in the lawsuit, I'm actually of the belief that, and I don't typically side with Bob Arum or even believe Bob Arum, but in this particular situation I do, and here's why. Devin Haney is incentivized to not move forward with any fight right now as long as he has a lawsuit pending with Ryan Garcia. He has claimed emotional damage, physical damage, mental distress, right? How is it possible then, if all of these things have occurred, he can go into a subsequent fight with Teofimo Lopez in the very near future? Because whenever it was that they were negotiating, then I would assume that the fight would occur early 2025, well before anything has been resolved with this particular case. And I believe they are pushing for a quick summary judgment or something to that effect with this particular lawsuit. But how is he going to move forward with that? You have to promote the fight. You have to go in there and talk about your previous fight. You got to make statements like that fight had no effect on you. You're ready to go. You're in the best shape of your life. This is the best you've ever felt. How can you go in there and make those types of statements when you're trying to train for a fight or build a fight when you already have a pending lawsuit basically stating that you have physical and emotional damage? You cannot. You cannot. then when you think about the whole financial situation of it, right? So he said that he suffered reputational damage that would injure him financially moving forward. Now, personally, I've talked about this a little bit. You got to prove your economic worth moving forward. Now, this is where, the economics comes out of me. And this was years ago, but there are models and ways that you can estimate what somebody's earnings will be over the lifetime of them working. And it's going to be based off of a number of different factors. And it's going to be very hard to prove, specifically in his line of work, that he was going to make X amount of dollars, right? Because it's so contingent upon your demand and things of that nature, right? But if he were to go into a fight and it's proven that his next fight, and it's proven that, okay, you look at your past performances, you fight Teofimo Lopez, who's a recognizable name. You add all these different factors in there. You look at the overall numbers, and then you come back with a number that's similar to things that you've done in the past or similar to what you did against Ryan Garcia. Then how can you then argue financial damage? You just did a fight that was very similar to the numbers that you recently put up, most notably with Ryan Garcia, who is one of the bigger names in the sport. So in my estimation, I don't think Devin Haney is particularly ready or interested in moving forward with any fight right now, because I believe that he's interested in trying to collect this bag through a lawsuit. And I think any forward movement of a fight, particularly if he gets to a situation where he has to promote the fight, particularly if when he gets to a situation where he actually gets paid or there's relevant numbers associated with how well the fight performed, I think he'll be in a compromising position relative to the case versus Ryan Garcia. So I'm of the belief that he has absolutely no interest in fighting right now, at least in the near term, right? If he can get a quick judgment in regards to this particular case, then we may see him in the very near future. But I don't think that's going to occur with the countersuits and things that are going on. So I don't think he has real interest in making a future fight with Teofimo Lopez or virtually anybody, honestly, unless the circumstances around the fight would suggest that he could still make that fight, still move forward with it without it necessarily damaging the merits of the case that he currently has against Ryan Garcia. That's my belief. So I believe Bob Arum in this particular situation. I don't think he is gung-ho about fighting anybody right now. I think he wants to get into the new year, kind of see how this case matriculates or how this case develops. And then he'll be interested in moving forward with his fight career, but not until he gets a better sense of what direction this case might go in. My personal belief, you may think I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and I am out.